Hey everyone, this is Mike from Archery, and today we're going to talk about stabilizers. As you can see on the table, I have quite a few stabilizers because I have quite a few bows. The main question you want to ask yourself is, stabilizers, why do I need one? For starters, if you ever try to bow without any weight on it or any stabilization on it, you realize the first thing that happens is your bow arm is wobbling left and right, up and down, and once you release, you have a lot of vibration in your hand, and then the bow top limb will come back and hit you in the head. That's just what happens. It's just what it is. So with these particular stabilizers, I'll tell you where they go for and what I use them for. This interpretation of stabilizers is what I believe. Obviously, you can look at a different video and they'll tell you a whole different thing entirely, but this is how I look at stabilization and how it works for me. So we're going to work from the left to right. These small ones, I use these for a compound bow. These four here also for compound bow. And then these four, I use them for my recurve. These are the side rods for recurve. These are the upper dampers for recurve. And these two long ones are also for recurve, the long rods. I have four bows, as I told you before. This particular stabilizer here is just a X-wing. It's heavy. When I say heavy, it's basically just steel. That's all it is. So when you have a stabilizer that's short, usually it has a lot more mass to it. What the mass creates is more weight at a short distance. So this is a hunting stabilizer. So when you have the bow in hand, it creates it to drop forward and also doesn't get in the way when you're moving. This doesn't do anything for shock purposes. It just keeps the bow weight going forward. This particular one is a is that bent? This is a Limb Saver S-Coil Pro. The weight is practically non-existent, but what it does is it does all these take away the shock value of the bow when you're shooting. Very good for compound, so when you're shooting, you won't have any real weight on the bow. But when you fire it, all this dampeners will catch all the vibration and stop it. This one is an Octane. I believe it's a 5-inch. This has a little bit of weight here, and it also has a dampening system here, and it wobbles as so. So you have a little bit of weight on this. This is almost the combination of these two. It has the weight and stabilization because of the fact that it's rubber and it has this little dampening here. So when you fire it, it wobbles it out. I use this only for my recurve. This did come on my compound bow because it's an Octane, as you can see. But I ended up changing my setup for that bow, and I use this for my recurve, Samick Discovery, and it actually helps out my vibration quite a bit. Put that down. This one is a Trophy Ridge. This has very little mass to it. It does have a little bit of a dampener here, so when you're firing it, it takes the vibration all through here and dampens out a little bit. I have not shot this one yet. I do plan on put this on my project bow, which is the oh my god, I can't think of the name, the Jennings bow. Hopefully this will work really well, but I use this one for my Jennings bow, and it helps out a lot with the vibration. It just stops it almost dead on. These three here are all bee stingers. This is the 10-inch bee stinger. I bought this one and I use it solely for just the one rod for my compound bow, which is my Diamond Edge 320. It has 3 ounces in the front. All of these have 3 ounces in the front, but it has a little bit of weight in the front, and it does keep the bow down when you fire, and it does stable and helps out stabilization quite a bit. This is a really good stabilizer. And then these two are an 8 and a 6. I use this on my compound bow, so this one has a lot more mass. This one has a little bit less mass, so it's kind of an offset like so, and it keeps me from wobbling up and down. If you're shooting a compound bow, I definitely recommend getting an offset, only because of the fact that if you're shooting 40 yards or more, you will really need that bow to stay steady. This does the same thing, But if you're in a hunting situation, you want something that's small versus a longer rod in front of you so you don't hit the branches and whatnot. These here are my side rods. This is a Doinker 12-inch. The diameter is it's small versus this other one I'll show you. It works really well. I'm glad I bought this for my beginner setup. It worked really nice. I'm glad I have it. I mean, it's all carbon in here. Very little weight here, probably about an ounce or so in here. Light, but it did help me out quite a bit when I was shooting. Very good beginner side rod stabilizer. So I upgraded from that to this bee stinger competitor. There's 3 ounces in the back, and the diameters are way bigger. You can see the difference from here alone. Hopefully you can see that. It's just a lot thicker than the other one. This has a lot more mass weight to it for the back. And when I use this, the vibration is non-existent when I fire that, and these are really nice. But I went from beginner to competitor setup only because I want to get better at my shot process and have a better bow. So when I do competition shooting, these are the ones I'm going to use. I'm going to get rid of these at some point, but I haven't done it yet because I have to go to the store and get rid of them. And these are upper dampeners. This is a 3-inch, this is a 5-inch. This is a cartel with a little damping system right there, and this is a win-and-win. This is actually, it's a win-and-win. I forget the name of it. It's a win-and-win 5-inch. It also has the weight here and the damping system right there. The difference between these two for the upper dampener, when you put this one on, you'll feel your bow just drop forward, is what you want. So when you do your release, your wrist is going to go just like that. With this, you don't really feel it. You feel something. That's a 1 ounce weight. This is probably 2 ounces here. But because this is sticking out further, you just have a lot more forward motion weight dropping down on this versus this. Again, sometimes buying a low budget part like this when you're shooting will help you progress a lot faster and easier in something like this. I have no regrets buying these Doinkers or this cartel. Only the fact that I needed to buy it because it helped me perform and shoot and develop at this level. And then once I got better, I had to go up. There's just no other way. You need to go up at some point. So buying parts is necessary. You have to do it. It's just what it is. This is a cartel dynamic. It's full carbon. I had to buy this Doinker system for the end of it. This is also a 30-inch long rod. With this weights, like it's 2 ounces here, I think an ounce here, and this is probably about an ounce. So we're looking like 4 ounces here. This is about, I think, 33 inches from end to end. Nice weight. It helped me out a lot when I started shooting. Again, this is a very good beginner, stable long rod. And also it helps you get better. When I upgraded from that to this competitor bee stinger, big difference. I mean, the length of this is much wider. Still, I have 3 inches here. It's just a little bit heavier, even though it's 30 inches. This feels just as much as that one, and that one's 3 inches longer. This feels just as heavy as that one. But when I shot this for the very first time, the bow had a whole different feel to it. That's the best way I can say it. It just felt solid. It felt heavy. It felt good. And I loved it. So that's why I ended up buying the long rod first and then converting to that. If you're going to change setups, I will recommend changing one thing at a time. So for me, when I had this setup, when I had this setup here, I bought this, I took this out, and I bought the win-and-win. I bought the win-and-win, and I swapped that out, and I shot that for a few weeks, and said, yeah, I can feel the difference right away, and then I just took this out of the equation. I said, nope, I don't want that. Later on, I bought the long rod. I took this cartel out, put this in, felt the difference right away, shot for a few weeks, got comfortable with it, and then kept it off. And I kept the cartel off. And then with the side rods, again, bought them, put them on, shot, and said, whoa, this is now a whole different bow. Recommend that, because if you buy this setup and you just go from beginner to advanced right away, you're not gonna know what to do with it. It's just gonna be really hard to transition. And then also I ended up changing my sight, and my sight is a whole different thing entirely now. I get used to that. But yes, that's my thoughts on stabilization. You definitely need to buy some. If you shoot in bare bow, you need to buy weights. You can shoot a bow without weights and stabilization, but trust me, you will say, I am so glad I bought something along these lines when you start shooting it. This is Mike from Archery. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. Thanks, and please subscribe. Later.